If you've ever placed a bet on a football match, it may not have occurred to you that while you're betting on your team to win, someone else is betting on the same team to lose. Well, that other party is whoever you're placing your bet with, and betting companies are making big profits. So why can't you be in the place of the traditional bookmaker and take bets on something not happening? Smarkets offers people the opportunity to both buy and sell all kinds of events, from sports to the outcome of political elections. But the founder's background is in financial services and software, not the racetrack. Does digital disruption spell the end for the traditional betting shop? What other industries are going to feel the pressure from powerful technology being put in the hands of the consumer? To find out, we went to have a look at how Smarkets are making the betting industry put their cards on the table.
Somebody showed me this website that let you trade the presidential election, and I found it amazingly exciting that you can take a market that you can watch on TV and something that I cared about, and you can buy and sell this event. And then I learned that's essentially what the betting industry is. But from my tech background, I thought there's got to be a better way to take this financial technology and apply it to sports betting.
It's unusual to the average punter for sure, yeah. I mean, like, I worked in finance before. I worked in financial markets, so like, I see the link straight away, and I think a lot of people, once they've worked here for a while, see the link. But we definitely have a job to do in terms of educating the user, and that sounds patronising, educate the user. They don't know what they're doing, they don't know what they're talking about. But it is a different model, and it is more sophisticated. There's probably a bit more maths to get your head around, but I think once people do that, it makes for a better product.
Smarkets can be an extremely complicated concept at first, but essentially it's a marketplace. It's a two-sided marketplace, like the ticket market, like the stock market, like the currency markets. You can buy, there's a price that you can buy at and a price that you can sell at. Now with a bookmaker, they only offer you the price you can buy at, but if you think about every bet you place, there's two parties to the bet. There's the one that's betting for something to happen and one betting against something to happen. Now people are only used to being able to buy for something, but Smarkets lets you buy for and sell against.
They can actually trade in and out of something, they can take profit, they can express their view at different times and structure the way they bet and ultimately profit. It's more mature, it's more advanced than just taking your punt. Your opinion might change over time, right? Because like when you place a bet, normally what you're doing is you're saying, somebody thinks this is a 5-to-1 shot. I think it's more likely than that, therefore I would like to back it. But that is symmetrical. You might think it's more likely than that, you might think it's less likely than that. And that exchange structure allows you to do that at any one point.
What I mean by bringing financial technology to sports betting is basically using the technology that traders use, that hedge funds use, that financial institutions use to buy and sell whatever they want to buy and sell. And the technology around that is still light years ahead of what is available in the sports betting industry. And so one of the missions of Smarkets is to bring what I used as a stock trader to sports betting, ultimately to give people more control over what they're trading.
It's way fairer, it's way more transparent. You can see exactly what's going on in terms of the prices. So the case is like on a coin toss. If we price a coin toss, as we have done on the Super Bowl, 50% chance of each, the market is 100% efficient, because over the long run, no matter what you bet on, you should be evens. Now, that's our measure really of fairness, is how close to that 100% fairness we are. And that's transparent and that's open, and we aim for as low as possible, and for a lot of markets we are as close as we can possibly be.
But we have a self-management structure. Nobody has titles in the company. Nobody has a reporting line. There are no line managers. But we do have structure. We have team leads. People change between team leads. But we have a self-management structure. We call it the Smarkets way, or the Smarkets self-management way.
We have very few, if any, kind of what you'd say are, industry, ex-industry people. We have no one who, nobody who's had a 20-30 year career of running betting operations is now going to do the same old thing with us. We've got enough people here and enough knowledge here to understand the domain, but the way we're tackling it is from a tech-first perspective. We're tackling it problem by problem from a tech perspective.
I think it's possible for these geopolitical events to be massive. You know, there's an article in the New York Times in the 20s that hundreds of millions of dollars, not inflation adjusted, was wagered on a presidential election. And so there's this need, you know, take Brexit for example. Like if you're a massive company, you need to hedge your risk to Brexit. So if you think about how much money the market moved when the disaster of Brexit happened, it's billions and you know, it could be trillions. A lot of money moved. It would be very useful for many companies and many trading companies and hedge funds and lots of people to be able to hedge that. And I think long term, Smarkets will be the place that they'll do it.
So the key for us is going to be to find that bit in the middle, things which are outside of the sporting realm but happen often enough and are independently quantifiable, and an independent source can verify the outcome of those markets for us to really stand a chance. There is something there to be made fairer, and that's something that no one else is really addressing in any way whatsoever. It's all about what they can get away with in terms of profits and margins. So I think that's our main disruptor.
I view Smarkets as a financial technology company in the sense that we use technology to help customers save money, and we're starting in betting. There's so many industries that have middlemen that, in my opinion, take way too much money out of the market with this idea of rent extraction. So, you know, a good example would be high street banks and foreign exchange. They make a lot of money, and there are companies that are working on solving that problem. Estate agents is another thing, insurance brokers. Basically, all types of brokers are good places to start thinking about these things. Like anybody that's sitting in the middle of any kind of transaction that is charging a markup, over time, those industries will get disrupted, and I want Smarkets to be a driving force in that disruption.